So we shall start with the peace chant. First we shall chant, then also read the English translation. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvi na vadhitam astu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Om, may the all-pervading Spirit protect us. May the all-pervading Spirit nourish us. May we work together with great energy. May our study be illuminating. May love and harmony dwell amongst us. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. So last time we saw the whole Katha Upanishad in a story form. The Upanishad has been told in a form of a story, and we had an overview of the entire Upanishad, and then I supplied in the shared document the overview of the Upanishad, breakdown of its chapters, and how many mantras, verses are there, and what the main ideas expressed in the Upanishad. I hope all of you have seen the document, at least you have got it, even if you have not got the time to look at it. Let it be there. It will always serve as a chart or a map for us to when navigating the Upanishad. All right, so today, last two classes, we had two introductions. One was about Upanishad in general, and the first class, and the second class was the last class, introduction to Katha Upanishad itself. Okay, Katha Upanishad, and to American audience, how to pronounce the tha of Katha that I have written down in that shared document, Katha. Okay, so let's see whether after this Upanishad, when we are done with this Upanishad, by that time, all the Americans can pronounce Katha Upanishad. Okay, it's a lot of time, one sound, and you will get more than a year to practice one sound. Okay, after that, hopefully, we'll be very excited if all of you can pronounce the Katha, and the description or the instruction how to make this sound, how to produce this sound mechanically. I have already shared some instructions. Okay, so try to pronounce Katha Upanishad, Katha. Okay, Katha Upanishad. All right. Now today we enter Katha Upanishad proper. We shall start as we do here. We take up the mantra, then have a simple translation, and then go deep into it. And also, whenever we need some clarifications, we ask questions. It's not necessarily always I have to give the answer. Sometimes you give answers better than I do. So it's a collective effort to understand the Upanishad. The first mantra is starting with Om. Om uśan vai vājaśravasaḥ sarvavedasaṃ dadau tasya naciketā nāma putraḥ asa. As such, compared to other Upanishads, Sanskrit is easier here in Katha Upanishad. Ha vai, once upon a time, uśan, being desirous of heaven. Vājaśravasa, a person whose name was Vājaśravasa or Vājaśrava. some dadau gave away all his possessions, sarvavedasaṃ. His tasya, indeed her son, putraḥ, by name nāma, Naciketa, was their āsa. So all of them, if joined together, once upon a time, being desirous of heaven, Vājaśravasaḥ gave away all his possessions in a sacrifice. And he had a son named Naciketā. So this is one of the peculiarities of the Upanishads. Sometimes in a few words, they say many things, right? In these few words, in the first verse, it gave a lot of hints. For example, the name Vājaśravasa. What does it mean, Vājaśravasa? Okay, interesting Sanskrit. The names had meaning. Okay, look at the screen. Vājaśravasa is a compound of two words, Vāja and Sravash. Okay, and Vāja means food, or offering to yajna or sacrifices. Okay, so either the food we eat is in Sanskrit called bhaja, or anything that we offer in the sacrificial fire, which was very dominant at the time of the Upanishad. Anything that we offered in the fire, that is also called bhaja. And Shravas means fame, or renown. So Vājaśravasa means one whose fame comes from offerings, or someone who was renowned for giving food in sacrifice. Okay, so that means this person was a very generous person, who was a very charitable person. He was known because of his generosity in offering of food in the offering sacrificial fire, or offering food to the people who were in the sacrificial ceremony, right? As we have learned earlier, one part of the ceremony, fire rituals, these rituals used to be elaborate, right? We needed priests, lot of priests, okay? And so also, one part of the these fire sacrifices were you have to entertain people, atithi, all the guests who would come to see your ceremony, fire ceremony, and it will go on for days together, and you have to serve them all food and other things. It is part of the yajna. It is not an optional thing. Part of the yajna was to entertain the guests, all the people who will be coming to witness your sacrifice. So Vājaśravasa was renowned for entertaining people, or giving away lot of things in during sacrifices. Okay. So the name means itself suggests that he comes from a lineage or family known for sacrificial rituals, particularly offerings related to food and wealth. So he is coming from a lineage or family who were engaged in sacrificial rituals, and he was once uśan. Uśan, the word means performing something, especially performing a havan, yajna, or fire ceremony, desiring of some results, mostly result to have a good afterlife, going to heaven, going to heaven, or any other material desire, that is called uśan. So Vājaśravasa, with the desire of going to heaven or heavenly reward, he performed a sacrifice. What was the sacrifice? In which he sarvavedasaṃ dadau. That is, he gave away everything. Everything. Everything that he had, he was giving away. So from this mention of giving away everything, we can infer, Shankaracharya helps us to infer that it was a particular type of fire ceremony called what? Just a minute. Yes.
Vishwajit.
Vishwajit. Yes. Vishwajit. Vishwajit was a type of yajna, as we have heard earlier, other names of different sacrifices, like Agnihotra, which was very common, Ashwamedha, where a horse was needed. Vishwajit. Vishwajit means winning the whole world. Okay, winning the whole world. That is the acme of a ritualistic life, giving away everything to gain everything. Vishwajit was such kind of a fire ceremony where one had to give away everything. Among the priests, among the people, among the learned people, they had to give away whatever they had. And that completed the ceremony called Vishwajita, conquest of all. And how do we know about this yaga? We don't know much. I came to know that one Taittiriya Brahmana, not Upanishad, Taittiriya Brahmana, there is a mention of this fire ceremony, Vishwajit. And also, it appears, the name of this ceremony, fire ceremony, comes in Mahabharata. Mahabharata. So if any one of you are interested, please do some research where in Mahabharata this Vishwajit yaga is mentioned and what further details we know about this yaga. So giving away everything. Such a Vājaśravasa, such a person who was, we can understand, who was engaged in rituals regularly, he was doing the grand sacrifice called Vishwajit. And he had a son named Naciketā. Tasya Naciketā nāma putraḥ āsīt. He had a son named Naciketā. And interestingly, as I said, names are also so meaningful. The meaning of the name Naciketa. Does anybody know the meaning of the name Naciketa? Have you ever known Naciketa?
You just shared the screen, right?
Yeah. Before sharing, I am just trying to see how much you know.
One who doesn't desire anything.
Yeah, one who does not desire anything. And the breakup is so interesting. If you look at the breakup of the name Naciketa, naciketā, right? Naciketa. Na means not. It's the prefix not. Chi means one who to pursue. And keta means desire. One who does not pursue the worldly desires. And we will see very soon that how this young boy was offered many worldly things and unthinkable hedonistic pleasures he was offered, but he did not want any of them. So either he justified his name or he got the name after what he did. Okay, but the name means a lot, Naciketā. So Vājaśravasa was a householder devotee who was engaged in a fire ceremony named Vishwajit, and the condition of this fire ceremony was one had to give away everything they possessed. Such a person, Vājaśravasa, had a son called Naciketā. This is the first mantra. Very simple introduction. Yes. Vājaśravasa, Vājaśravasaḥ become in proper noun Vājaśravasa. It does not have to be son of Vājaśrava is Vājaśravasa. Okay.
Maharaj, that's what is mentioned in the commentary, Shankara's commentary.
Is it so? Acha? Okay. If Vājaśravasa,
Vājaśravasa had another name, Uddalak son.
Vājaśravasa Uddalaka Aruni. Yes, Uddalaki. Yes. No, Vājaśravasa's father was probably Uddalak.
Uddalak, and Uddalak was Vājaśravasa's name.
Uddaliki.
Uddaliki.
Okay, yeah, I have to see. Okay, I have to see. Okay, I will look at Shankaracharya's commentary. I did not look at that. So anyway, the name of the person was Vājaśravasa, and he did perform sacrifice. Any question about this mantra? All right, so let's move on to the next one. Yes.
He has to give away everything. So does he give away his entire wealth, everything?
Yes, he was supposed to do that.
And was he a king? So he has to give a kingdom to, or?
No, whatever he had.
Okay.
Whatever he had to give away everything. Okay. Yes. Okay. Then we shall see that he would not do that, and that's why Naciketā comes to the question. He did not do that, and that started the Upanishad going. Okay. Tam ha kumāram santam dakṣiṇāsu nīyamānāsu śraddhā āviveśa saha amanyata. So Naciketā, he was a young boy, kumāram, and dakṣiṇāsu, while the gifts were being given, faith, śraddhā, entered him. Faith entered Naciketā. He thought, amanyata, he thought within himself. As the gifts were being laid forth, faith entered the heart of young boy. He began to reflect inwardly. What he began to reflect, that we shall see in the next mantra. But for the time being, that this next mantra says kumāram. Kumāram means Shankaracharya says less than 10-year-old. Naciketa's age was less than 10. That's why he is a kumāra. I don't know whether it will correspond to adolescence or not. What is the age limit for adolescence? Before they become teen, right? Adolescence is which age? Which period of?
13 to 19.
Oh, that is adolescence?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The teenagers. Oh, I see. So he was kumāra. He was even younger than that. 10, less than 10. Dakṣiṇā. Dakṣiṇā means the gifts which are given to the priests during a sacrifice or after the end of the sacrifice. And they should be of high quality. Not only it should be high quality, the best we can afford, but also should be given with reverence. That is the ideal way of giving dakṣiṇā or gift. And nīyamānāsu shows that the gifts were in the process of being given away. So the sacrifice was complete, and now all the gifts were being carried, given to respective people. That is the time when Naciketa observed something, and then śraddhā entered in his heart. Now, what do you think entering śraddhā means? In a young boy's heart, śraddhā entered. What do you think about it? What do you feel about it?
Faith.
Yeah, faith. Yeah, faith about what?
About this this ceremony itself and the deep importance of the ceremony.
Okay, how that can enter into someone? Was it something outside the faith and that entered into Naciketa?
The words of the ceremony.
Word of the ceremony were reached his ears, and then he started having faith.
I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
Deep intuitive knowledge that he was born with came to the forefront.
Deep intuitive knowledge. Yes. Okay. What else?
Exactly, Maharaj. That's what I was also thinking. What she said, I was just putting in a different terms, like sanskar, with the different sanskars. She was born, and that probably propelled him to, then under these circumstances, that part was stimulated really in his mind.
What was stimulated?
That that śraddhā part, because śraddhā comes to somebody, so I could be reverential to somebody. That has to come from my upbringing or my past sanskars from previous past, really.
Okay.
So if I don't have that from previous birth or from my upbringing, so I won't be reverential to somebody who's respectful, whom I should respect. So my understanding is that probably similarly, because of his upbringing or because of his sanskars, this particular circumstances, he was able to basically that śraddhā came to his mind.
The faith arose in his mind.
Right. Arose.
Can it be also interpreted as a doubt? That doubt entered in his mind, a question entered in his mind.
Doubt will be, very far-fetched interpretation of the word śraddhā. It is actually the opposite of doubts.
Normally it is, but what I was wondering is, like the previous speaker said, because of the śraddhā, the doubt entered in his mind.
But the Upanishad says the śraddhā entered his mind. Upanishad did not say that because of śraddhā, doubt entered in his mind. Okay.
Maharaj,
yeah.
This can be a deep regard and love for tradition, the lineage.
Lineage,
He has seen all through,
yeah.
which affect the life and what you gain from that. Śraddhā can come from that also.
Yes.
The question I have is if one has a śraddhā or does not have a śraddhā. So it's not like entering the śraddhā once, it's not there. So that's why I'm saying that, he already had a śraddhā, and because of that, the doubt came to his mind.
Okay, we shall find out. Yes, good to have doubt and questions. Yeah. Anyone else would like to comment on this phrase? Faith entered into the heart of this young boy, Kumāra.
think Betty had it right. I think Betty has it in the chat.
Oh, Betty did say something in the chat. He believed in what he had been taught, was afraid for his father, and what the consequences of his action would be. Yes, true. We shall find out, huh? Interesting. Śraddhā, usually translated as faith, but this can be misleading. Swami Vivekananda said that. He gave a running commentary on Katha Upanishad. What is the lecture in Jnana Yoga, which is based on Katha Upanishad?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, probably God now. Isha Upanishad is God in everything. So he gave a lecture in London, I believe, and it was on Katha Upanishad. There he mentions that Śraddhā is an excellent word. There is no English translation of Śraddhā. Some of you might remember from the class, the first class I gave, Viveka Churamani. Sorry,
Aparakshanavati.
There we tried to interpret Śraddhā. Does anybody remember the word Śraddhā?
Faith.
Huh?
Faith.
Faith, yeah, faith. But as I said, faith is a poor translation. Okay. Better to understand if we break down the word. Okay. Shraddh and dha. And shraddh means what? Shraddh has the same as cord, cardiac, heart. All have the same root, shraddh, heart. And dha means to place your heart. That is something in which you place your heart wholeheartedly. Something that you are so sanguine of, you wholeheartedly believe in something, so with so much conviction and clarity. That is the śraddhā. For example, I have śraddhā in the words of my guru. That is, I put my all hearts into whatever my guru told me. Okay. I have śraddhā in the scriptures. That is, I have put my whole heart, wholeheartedly, I accept. That is the meaning of the word śraddhā. Remember, the same shraddh became cord, it became cardiac, it became heart. Same root of different language groups, but have the same root, śraddh, which is the meaning is heart, and also meaning of truth, and dha means placing your heart in that. Okay, so where we place your heart, where we are very convinced about or very much moved about, śraddhā. Okay, so to place our heart onto something is śraddhā. Āviveśa means, literally means entered, but it is not that it just appeared or occurred, but it kind of possessed him. That is, it filled his awareness. That is, this śraddhā was not taught from outside. It came or arose from within. It's not a mere belief, but a kind of, we may say, a moral clarity, or we may also call it a kind of awakening. Awakening need not be always, grand something, spiritual awakening, but those moments when suddenly some truths just dawns on our mind, like, no, enough is enough. Okay, this I cannot stand it anymore. It is not right thing. Okay, I no matter what others say, but I am convinced that I have to do something or do about it. So all of these are like śraddhā, entering of śraddhā, inner awakening, a moral, spiritual clarity. For Naciketā, it entered when he saw that his father was giving away old and useless cows in that sacrifice. That is, he understood suddenly that my father is not being sincere. He had better cows, but he was not giving it. So it was not anger, not a rebellion, but a clear and sharp sense of that this is not right. There must be more to what is happening. This is not right, what my dad is doing. This suddenly a moral clarity. This is very important for all of us, and especially for spiritual seekers, that we have to have this kind of mini awakenings that are we satisfied with whatever happening? Last week I was telling someone was returning to India from America after living 35 years. She was returning to India, and she asked me, Swami, do you have any parting advice for me which I can follow? I said, look, very recently what is appearing in my mind is all the scriptures and all the spiritually successful people. They showed us that to be content with the world, whatever the world around you, the relationships, you can never have everything whatever you want. Be content with all of them, but be discontent with your spiritual progress. Never be content with your spiritual progress. That is what their life tells us. But we are actually doing the exact opposite of all of this. We are very much discontent with the world, our things around, our circumstances, relationship, our whatever, wealth, belongings. We are discontent. And about our spiritual progress, we are very content. That is fine, and that is not a priority at all. Whatever we are doing, fine, we are doing. Okay. So I just told her that remember this thing, that we have to flip the equation. How can we be more content with whatever we have, and rather channel our discontent in our spiritual pursuit? And that's what we see. Those who have succeeded, it was not that all of them had wonderfully ideal atmosphere for spiritual growth. Actually, that cannot be. In just today, it may be a digression, but interesting to know that in a recent happiness survey, they found out that people of rich countries are having a problem of meaning of life. More affluent we become, more we go away from spirituality. But that void, that meaning, cannot be fulfilled by any other thing. So the point was this discontent, about being discontent about everything we have and content about our spiritual life. That is appeared to be natural, and that is what everybody is doing. I should be doing. But once in a while, to ask questions, hard questions like that how long we should be discontent with world and content with spiritual progress. Okay. Rather, flip the equation and make some real progress in spiritual path. So this type of moral clarity that suddenly dawns on our mind can be compared to entering of śraddhā in our heart, that is arising spontaneously some insight. This insight need not be life-changing insight, but these small insights are very, very helpful in our day-to-day spiritual life. One of the great Swamis I admire, and he's extremely respected monk, he used to tell that spiritual life consists of series of mini awakenings. Series of mini awakenings, mini. That is not that one day I will get all awakenings and that will solve all the problems. But it can be also summation of series of mini awakenings. So all these mini awakenings that we should be also mindful about these things so that these awakenings happen. We have to create the condition for that so that it happens. So, for example, Sri Ramakrishna, right? Sri Ramakrishna had such a moral clarity that in his childhood he found that the scholars of religion who were talking high things about religious texts, all of these, their pursuit of this religious text was to earn some money, livelihood. And he decided what is the value of this kind of education, which is only promoting earning money. Or consider the life of Swami Vivekananda. The moment this question appeared to him, can God be seen? His life changed. He kept on asking people, started going to spiritual masters and asking the same question. Have you seen God? If you have seen, I am ready to hear. If you have not, nothing matters to me. Okay. This can be compared to a śraddhā, āviveśa, entering of śraddhā into our heart. Or consider Buddha watching 4 sceneries one after another, 4 people, 4 types of people. Suddenly the question dawned into his mind, is it everything to life? Does life have any other purpose, or just go through all the phases? That can be compared to a śraddhā, entering of śraddhā. Okay. And in our own life also, science, sometimes it happens like we feel that a sense of rightness, what is right and wrong, a voice comes, and then we cannot silence that voice. And suppose a child suddenly sees the falseness in the adult behavior and begins to ask questions, right? We tell children many things, but we don't do that. And the children start asking questions. For example, children often, it happened that we tell children, don't always tell truth, but sometimes it happened that one father told his son that someone came to visit the father, and the father did not want to meet that person. He told the child, go and say father is away, dad is not at home. Okay. And then the child started asking, you told always to tell the truth. Now you are telling to tell me lies. This type of moral clarity. Then sometimes young seekers who sees through all this mechanical religion or established religion, and then they long for something direct realization. Those are the moments of śraddhā moments. Or sometimes we feel that, look, we have enough. We have seen the society enough. Society's approval. We tried a lot to gain approval from the society, and it's enough. As I don't care much about society's approval, but I'll do what is right for me. I feel which I should do. Okay, this kind of ideas can be, this kind of awakenings, little awakenings, can be called śraddhā moments. So these are, this cannot be produced. It just happen from deep within. Or sometimes we met someone and that person said something, or we just noticed something in them, and suddenly a new kind of revolution happened within. us, deep within. Okay. As if our whole life changed from that point onward. These are the śraddhā moments. Śraddhā moments. So what this is very important thing. Swami Vivekananda very much emphasized that this śraddhā is very important. Śraddhā is not only a belief in the scriptures or belief in the authorities, but śraddhā also means this kind of deep questions, facing deep questions and finding answers to them. Then what happens is our pursuit becomes authentic. Otherwise, we try to follow what we have been told. Society kinds of wants to give values, supply values for us, and those values don't become authentic values because they are not our own values. And similarly, for a spiritual aspirant too, this is very important to stop and have these śraddhā moments, clarity now and then, that as a spiritual seeker, what we should do in this type of crisis or this type of situations. Okay, these are the śraddhā moments. And one becomes very radically honest with them. It becomes like a turning point in our spiritual path. And sometimes these śraddhā moments come after a lot of suffering, after going to the rock bottom. Many people have this kind of awakening or moments after hitting the bottom. They have almost gone to the bottom, and then suddenly a new sense or purpose, a clarity comes. This is what I believe śraddhā āviveśa in Naciketā. This is how a moment of clarity, a moment of truth, simply spontaneously arose within his mind. Okay, śraddhā āviveśa. Then, saha amanyata, he thought or reflected. This signals the moment that Naciketa became a seeker, guided not by instruction, but because of an awakened conscience that he had at that moment. And from that, it was a turning point as a spiritual seeker. And then he thought. What did he think at that time? After this moral clarity or this mini awakening, then he thought. What did he think? That will be in the next mantra. He thought that my father in the sacrifice is giving away all these useless cows, useless and difficult to maintain this type of cows he is giving away. And then, since it is a Vishwajit Yajna, where one has to give away everything, I am also a property of my father. I also belong to him. So to whom my father is giving me, so that I can compensate for these cows, these useless cows. I am not useless as the cows. I have some use, some purpose in my life. So to whom my father is giving to? This kind of thought came to his mind. That we shall see in our next class. Okay? Yes, Rick, go ahead, ask. Rick, I see your raised hand.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So it seems to me that this idea that he gives away all he owns.
Yeah.
Right there, the lie begins. Because then he gives away only the old ones, which implies that he has all the healthy ones.
Yes, true, exactly.
And the śraddhā, if I say it right, seems to be cognitive. It doesn't come from study. It doesn't come from contemplation. It just comes.
Yes.
And then you contemplate. And
Yes.
then you think, which is what's going to happen now. And then he thought.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the realization occurs. So to me, that word seems to be cognition.
You know,
Now,
more than that, I would say probably epiphany will be a bit better word.
say it again.
Epiphany.
Epiphany.
Yeah. Epiphany. Yes. Epiphany. Yes.
Huh. And you know, during your talk, you said something that reminded me. There's a book called The Animal Farm by The Animal Farm, and in this story, in this book, they had these words that we are all equal, but some are more equal than others. So that's what this story sounds like to me, is that because we talk about all, and yet we quickly find out it's not all.
Yeah.
So I think the explanation of that ceremony
Yeah.
is left a little wanting.
Yes.
Because it doesn't make sense right from the get-go.
Yes. 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 The Upanishads are not so so descriptive. They are sometimes very cryptic. Exactly. So from the first verse, we have to infer many things. That name of the yajna, that it was not done well. Okay, that's why Naciketa started asking all of these. We have to infer. Yes. So some thanks to Arundhati. The lecture Swami Vivekananda gave in the chapter Jnana Yoga, which is a free translation of Katha Upanishad. And the chapter is called Realization. Realization. Realization is the name of the lecture. Probably he gave it in London or New York. I'm not sure. Either in London or in New York. All right. So that's for today. Okay. Any further question? Yeah, the point was, think about this śraddhā. We have to think about it in a broader term, that how we can really be inspired by our śraddhā, or these moments of clarity. Moments of clarity.
Yeah, faith is a very loose translation of śraddhā. It's not
Yeah,
really
faith is a loose translation. Exactly.
Yeah.
Acha, all right. All right, then, if we have no question, we shall move on to the next class and take up the do moments of clarity just comes to you. Exactly. So what do you think? Moments of clarity, does it just come to us? What do you think?
I think with deep prayer and contemplation, moments of clarity suddenly come. Something happens, or at least, in my experience, it's like, wow. But it takes a lot of back work to get there.
Thanks. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So although it cannot be taught, okay, it cannot be manufactured, but a lot of backward, what do you call, preparations were needed. Otherwise, how this will come? Some seeds should be there. Seeds were there already. And now what happens is all of these ideas suddenly fall together in place and one clarity comes. For example, the example that I gave about the contentment about life, the world, and this contentment about spiritual progress, this small awakening or small clarity came to my mind. Did it just happen? No, because I was, of course, thinking about contentment and discontentment and all the ideas related to that, and suddenly that it came in a broader form, that the difference between us and the spiritual masters lie in this part regarding what we are content about and what we are discontent about. So it comes spontaneously, but there are some background background is needed. Yeah. Incubation period. Yeah, good. Incubation time is needed. Yeah. All right, so we close here today with Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And so today was first class. I started small, only 2 verses. Okay. And the emphasis was in the idea of śraddhā. Okay, śraddhā. And next day onward, we can move probably faster and take up more verses.
Maharaj, meditation today?
Meditation. Do you want to do meditation?
Since we have time.
So today is keep the meditation. Okay. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace be unto all. Have a good evening and also good weekend.